What's up guys, Erroneous here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today's going to be a crazy one, because in today's video, we've got Monster Hunter inspired characters coming to the game of Raid. So let's get into it. Alright guys, brand new information. Monster Hunter is coming to Raid Shadow Legends. So it's going to be champion lore, and there's going to be brand new champions coming to the game of Raid, and they're going to be in regard to Monster Hunter, which is pretty insane, right? So dates and info, of course, this is going to be posted on January 9th, and I have a lot of things blued out, blotched out, because I don't want you to see that stuff. But campaign lore info. We've got emerging through mysterious portals from another world. The monsters of Monster Hunter have arrived to Teleria. Confused by their new surroundings, they began to lash out and wreak havoc. Luckily, the monsters were also followed by Palicos cat-like companions who are trained to help hunters in their world. So that's pretty interesting, okay? Maybe we're going to have companions with our champions now. The Palicos successfully recruited 5 hunters native to Teleria and assisted them in defeating the otherworldly monsters. From the remains of these monsters, our native Telerian hunters crafted amazing armor and weapons, making them stronger than ever before. So, let's see what we've got going on. Game info and lore. So we've got 5 brand new champions coming to the game of Raid. This is going to be phenomenal. Monster Hunter, if you guys know, is a very old classical game. It is about 20 years old at this point. So I did want to mention that Monster Hunter is also celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. And it has recently announced Monster Hunter Wilds coming in 2025. So head to monsterhunter.com for all the latest information if you are interested in Monster Hunter. Now, let's get back over here. Let's take a look at these champions here. So in terms of the champions, game info, and lore, we've got 5 brand new champions that are going to be coming to the game of Raid from Monster Hunter, right? And one is going to be Rathalos Blade Master. Rathalos the weapon is Wyvern Blade Fall, weapon type longsword, as you can see, and he's going to be a part of the Bannerlords, and is a Force Affinity champion and legendary attack type champion. And then this champion is actually going to be a login champion, 7-day login. The next champion that's coming to the game of Raid is Alatreon, hopefully I'm saying this right, but Alatreon Blade Master, a Knights Revenant champion with the weapon Dark Claw Demise, which is pretty insane. It's massive. It's a longsword, and he's a Spirit Affinity legendary support-based champion. Interesting. He kind of looks like a damage dealer, right? The next champion is going to be Rathalos Blade Master with massive wings, huge sword, great sword. That thing is massive. He's going to be part of the Dark Elves faction. He's a Void champion, and he's a legendary HP type champion. Super excited to see these brand new champions come to the game. The next champion is Nergigante, or Nergigante. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Archer. Doom Shaft weapon, the bow type. It's a barbarian champion that's a legendary spirit defense-based champion. And then the last one is actually going to be the next fusion, and that is Zeno Ogre Blade Master. Usurper's Fulgur Dual Blades Shadowkin champion with Magic Affinity legendary attack-based champion. So let's read into this a little bit further. So how can we actually obtain these champions? So Rathalos Blade Master, 7 days loyalty program. So it's going to run from January 9th all the way until March 2024. March 5th is when it deactivates. So the enrollment ends the 27th of February. So then the next champion, Alatreon Blade Master, you can get him through shards and in-game activities. So that'll be from tournaments or from events in-game. And the start date's January 9th, same end dates and deactivations. Rathalos Blade Master, you can get him from shards only. And then you've got Nergigante Archer. Get her from shards and in-game activities. And then Zeno Ogre is a champion fragment event. Okay, not a fusion, but a fragment event. They can get confused and they're very interchangeable words. So Rathalos Blade Master, as you can see here for the 7-day loyalty program. So he is going to be, you have to get him before March 5th, of course. So that's pretty sweet. And then here's what a Rathalos champion skills looks like. I will go over the skills of Rathalos and of Zeno Ogre Blade Master in this video. So in terms of Zeno Ogre Blade Master champion overview, so we're going to get some information. So here it is actually. On Thursday, January 11th, we're planning to launch the champion fragment event for brand new champion Zeno Ogre Blade Master. Zeno Ogre Blade Master will come in handy when dealing with PvE content such as Fire Knight's Castle, both normal and hard mode, Curse City, Doom Tower, basically wherever multi-hitting skills are required. So that's actually massive. I can't wait to read her kit. Having a total of 11 hits on all skills topped up with some debuffs and useful buffs literally makes Zeno Ogre Blade Master an unstoppable power that swipes everything on its way. The passive skill helps to use low HP in your favor by increasing the damage dealt by this champion by 50% per 50% HP lost, paired with being able to be saved from dying by 1 HP or with 1 HP and healing up to 50% makes it possible to cheat death itself. So that's a pretty good passive type of ability. So let's take a look at these guys' kits. First, I'm going to start with Rathalos, and then I'll go over to Zeno Ogre right afterwards. All right, so I have behind me Rathalos here. So Rathalos looks crazy cool. He's going to look even cooler in game, I'm sure. So he's an attack-based champion. And again, this is a login champion. So you literally just have to pick up the game, download Raid, play for 7 days during the time frame that I mentioned earlier, and you'll be able to pick up this guy. So he's probably going to be a strong champion. Most of the 7-day logins are very strong champions. So the A1 attacks one enemy, 50% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Not bad. If it's a boss, then it can't be resisted. And of course, you can book him out to a 65% chance to land that decreased defense, which is unresistible, potentially not even having to build him with any resistance at all, or any accuracy at all, excuse me. And then you can just land it on any boss. That's insane, especially for clan boss. If you needed a guy early game or mid game, this guy probably will be really strong for most accounts. Spirit Step Slash for the A2 attacks one enemy. Every second use of this skill in a round will attack all enemies, which is very strong for PvE waves. Also could be very strong for PvP. Will also ignore 25% of the target's defense. If the target's a boss, will ignore 100% of the target's defense. That's insane. Very strong A2. This guy is already chalking up to be an extremely powerful champion. On the A3, attacks all enemies before attacking, places a 30% increased crit damage and an increased speed big version on this champion for 2 turns. And it's a book down to 3 turn. The A2 is also booked down to a 3 turn. So that's very powerful. This guy could end up being super strong. I actually love this guy's kit so far. For his passive, inflicts 50% more damage against targets under HP burn debuffs. That could be really good against Tainted Skavag, which is the spider boss on hard mode. He can also be really good in general, like maybe even strong against the Ice Golem on hard, but I doubt it because he's going to probably do too much damage to him and then he procs his big ability. So let's say no on Ice Golem, but it would be pretty cool if you could use him against him, right? But then you could potentially use this guy in just PvE in general, and maybe people start using HP burn a little bit more often in Arena, but I don't see HP burn starting to become meta still. And then it also states that receives 25% less damage from enemies under HP burn, so that could be powerful. Mainly he feels like he's a very strong Hydra champion or clan boss champion or PvE champion in general. Not as strong in PvP, but he's definitely chalked up to be pretty strong in PvP too, potentially. And every 5th skill used by this champion deals 200% more damage. So if he's in an elongated battle in PvP or PvE, he's just going to annihilate. He's going to be phenomenal in Curse City as well. So increased attack in all dungeons, by 30%. Very, very strong. So let's move on over to the next champion. All right, so we have now Zeno Ogre, Blade Master. She is the new fragment champion that's going to be up next very soon on January 11th. So get ready for her. She's going to be a very strong champion as well. So on her A1 Blade combo, attacks one enemy 3 times and has a 30% chance of placing a weaken debuff for 2 turns, which is pretty strong. And then on the A2, attacks one enemy 4 times. Each hit increases the champion's turn meter by 5%. Also places an increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. She's going to be very, very strong in Fire Knight Hard. She can also be very, very strong in Fire Knight Normal. She doesn't seem like she has any freeze abilities, so that's the only downside of her. But she could be someone that you could put in place of, like, say, for example, a Razzlevarg because of the increased speed on everybody. But let's keep reading through her kit. So this is a 3-turn cooldown if you book her out. Blade Spin on the A3 attacks one enemy 4 times. Before attacking, places an increased attack on herself for 2 turns. The first and the second hit each have a 75% chance of placing a leech, which is nice. And then the third and fourth hit each have a 75% chance of placing a decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. So it's decent. I think that this champion could be really, really strong in Clan Boss as well. I think that she could be really strong potentially in Hydra. And I do think she'll be strong in Fire Knight Hard. But the only issue is there's no freeze mechanic at all. And she's not an AoE champion, it seems like. So because she's not an AoE champion, she's not going to be as crazy against the waves unless her damage multipliers are very strong. But I'm still definitely going to go for her on my account. So her passive increases the damage this champion deals by 1% for every 1% of HP loss, stacks up to 50%. This increased damage doubles if the target is under a decreased defense. Okay, that's not bad. So she'll actually pair really well with the other gentleman that I talked about earlier. So prevents this champion's death and keeps them alive on 1 HP when hit with a fatal hit. If this skill prevents the champion's death, heals her by 50% of the max HP, will not prevent the champion's death if they're under a heal reduction. So that's actually a negative against the Fire Knight. So if the Fire Knight places heal reduction on her, then smacks her. I wonder if it works. I actually don't recall now if the heal reduction lands before he attacks or if it lands after the attack. So interesting. I'm wondering how that's going to work out against the Fire Knight. The increased speed in dungeons by 30% is actually the strongest part of her kit. It's a faster speed than Razzlevarg. So if you wanted to use her instead of Razzlevarg, or maybe there's some people out there that are picking up the game for the first time, or they're only a few months in and they don't have Razzlevarg, then yes, you could utilize this person in Fire Knight Hard mode, and she might actually be really, really helpful to your account. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think that Zeno Ogre is going to be a really strong champion? Are you excited with these new champions coming to the game of Raid? I think they're going to be a huge positive. I really think she can be good in multiple areas. Both of these champions seem like they're more tailored towards PvE as compared to PvP, but does not mean you can't use them in PvP at all. And I do think they're going to be really strong in Hydra, both of them, as well as Clan Boss and multiple other areas of the game, such as Curse City as well, which is just a new implementation that was added to the game recently. So yeah, I really love these champions. I think they're fantastic. I think they're going to be a new kind of flair, bring a new flair to the game. So I'm super excited with this new partnership that Plarium has with Monster Hunter. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching the video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you on a video soon. Take care.